So when you get it set, I'll be able to look at yours and be able to see what's up. That's all I was going to do before I start talking. So I love that one. I love Angels We've Heard. I love, yeah. Okay, hello everybody. I don't know if you can see me. I'll give you a chance to come in. So this is so crazy because actually, okay, please join James' broadcast. Okay. Hi. So a couple of things I want y'all to see. First of all, for those who are interested in settings, I want to say this. Again, I'm Reginald Jackson from J Music, and if my friends are watching, I may not see your comments until later. So if you have questions you want to ask me, you can ask me later.
Play a little bit more. Let them come on in.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Come on in. Yeah, come on in.
Yeah. Let them come on in. Let them come
okay.
On
Let me do it. Let me do a Christmas song. I love it. Okay. So I did these before. I'm trying. I always compare these. So I like to think of how we think about Christmas carols, because a lot of times we think of the gospel Christmas songs, but we don't think about the Christmas carols that are in the hymn. Like, joy to the world, sings the Lord has come, let earth receive her every heart prepare, room and heaven and nature sing, heaven and nature sing. I'm thinking about doing a book of those, so we can interpret them, have enough of the traditional voicings. 4, 5, 1. Now we talk about my left hand today. That's one of the concepts I want to talk about. What's actually happening with my left hand? Because if you notice, all I'm trying to do is include two notes from the chord in my right hand. And most people can play the right hand. So Barbara Bird and all my students who play and have the right hand down, Joe, all of you who have it down pat. What do I add in my left hand is what I want to answer when I do the book. So you're gonna notice that my left hand and right hand are working together. They're friends. Two notes from the chord in my left hand. So it's really that simple. So what's happening with that? Sometimes I'll pull something out and I'm going to show you what that is. And 1, 3, 6, 2, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. So that thing I just want to show you in a Christmas song, because Christmas music has about 48 hours, and after that you can't play a Christmas song. So don't get upset about it. It dies very, very quickly when you do that. So one of the concepts I like to give very quickly. Look at the setup that I'm using. I'm using the B flat on both decks, on the top deck and the left. So if you look down, B flat is pressed, and then if you look up here, this is something my sister didn't understand. Is that you have these presets here. You can pull them all out, right? I can push those 4 in. If you just push in these first 2 right here, it's a great place to start. So that I'm playing right in the center of the keyboard. So I can almost play like a piano once I push in those 2. Now that seems like it's so easy and so primary, but you'd be surprised how many people struggle with how do I set the organ? Before I could play organ, everybody pulled these out and we played. Everybody plays the left hand and right hand together right here. Sorry. Now it's so natural for me to pull my left hand to help. But if I didn't know how to do it and I was playing the organ, now I can play the organ like this and still leaning on. Now I got to make my left hand not be involved. When you move to the next stage, you add your foot with your left hand. If you can, you may not be able to see my foot moving with my left hand. So that, to me, that's the first step. So if you have my book 1 from JRJMusicProductions.com, you're going to have things like praise. I'm going to play it just like I'm playing the piano. And notice my right hand is up here doing what's in the book, all the passing chords. So you could actually play in church like this, and nobody may not recognize that you really don't play the organ. But what I'm going to answer for you is what I'm going to eventually do with my left hand. And notice that I shift my right hand up an octave. Your question for me is, can I just play the piano down here? And yes, if you wanted to. I'm just trying to get you prepared for where we're going next, because your left hand won't be playing right here. It's going to be playing over next to your left hand, your right hand. And I said I was going to use Christmas music, but I want to relate it to the books. So if you don't have the book, please go order book 1, right? To get started with just basic hymns. It has about 30 hymns and several important styles that I want you to have, like the cadence. So begin to watch, if you like YouTube, to watch how the organist, if you have this angle, watch where the hands are. Most of the really good players, like Junior and everybody else, they're working right in this little, we're working this little passage right here, right in front of our bodies. Not only because we're lazy, but it's just convenient to do it right here in front of our bodies like this. Here's that spot I was looking for. 3, 6. I'm gonna explain this right after this. Gold nugget. This is the gold nugget. It took me 15 years to learn this. I'm gonna give it to you in 30 seconds. The pattern of 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, which is gonna be so important later. I can't tell you how important it is. But you learn to crawl. There are 2 ways I like for you to look at it. If you play G and C in your left hand, that's gonna be your 3, A in the bass. Your 6, just by moving to F sharp, is gonna be your 6. Your 2 is gonna be here, F and B flat. Your 5 is gonna be E and B flat. That's a 3, 6. 3 is A, D is 6, 2 is G, 5, 1. If you could do that, I mean, you move from 1st grade to 2nd grade immediately. You can thank me later for this, alright? But it's 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. This is the way the organ book is going to be laid out. There's another way you can do 3, 6 and make it a true tritone. The word is tritone. The interval refers to a sharp 4. I can actually make it a true 3, and I call it crawling. I like this. 3, 6, 2. So a lot of times when I'm playing churchy, that's where I approach that. I'll do it again. Everything is half step, but just by changing, we call this the 7 and the 3rd of an A minor, or A dominant 7. A dominant 7 is going to move to a D dominant 7 just by moving it chromatically. And I say crawling because if I can swap and make it smooth, look how smooth it is. Here's 2, and again G7 with the 7 and 3rd, and the 7 and 3rd is going to collapse into the 3rd and 7 of the 5 and land on the 1. So a lot of times when we're playing and we play very fast, so you'll hear me say 3, 6, 2, 5. I'm singing in fast time. If you'll take time, if you're a beginner or even if you're advanced and you're teaching, this would be a concept that you want to have. Now, if your students already know 3, 6, 2, 5, 1 from my book 2, JRJMusicProductions.com, I give you this in the book. 3, 6, thing is, now you have left hand 3, 6, 2, 5, and all of a sudden you move from first base to second base just that quick. You got to practice this over 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Or here's another one that's really important: 7, 3, 6. I would do 7, which is E. So I'm gonna crawl the same way. I'm gonna do 7. F. I'm gonna hit F. Doing 7, 3, 6. And I'm sorry, I get ahead. And I still think I'm going slow, and I get ahead.
Yeah. So one person asked, where can we get the book at?
JRJmusicproductions.com. JRJmusicproductions.com. There's a book 1, there's a book 2, and there's a book 3. And you might look up there and see if there are any questions or comments, Jay, from them. But 7, so for my 7, I have G sharp and D. And I'm going to crawl all the way back to do 7, which is E, 3, which is A, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. But a lot of times we'll collapse when we do 7, 3, 6. So the 6 would be regular. So when I'm doing the whole phrase of 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, I'll land on a 6 like this and just move one finger for the 2, then flat 7 over 5, 1, 7, and 4. That's a very important move. I'm going to use it in hymns, I use it in R&B, I use it in gospel, I use it for everything I'm playing. When I can go 7, and I'll do it again slowly, because I know most people go too fast for me on YouTube. I wish they would go slower. So there's no way you can go wrong. G sharp and D, or A flat and D. This is a 7, 3, 6, which is FAC. So it's like a D, dominant 7. Then we'll move one finger to B natural, right, to get my 2. Flat 7 over 5, I'm going to take that down a step. So it's E flat and G and B flat. And this is the way the book is lined up. So you would have exercises. For me, you'd go 7, 3. Now, your question for me, thank you for asking, is fingering. So, a lot of times I recommend using the most stable. To me, I can rely on the thumb, these two, and this one. This one is probably the least cooperative because it's just odd and different. But if I only had 2, I like to crawl. And when I say crawl, that just makes it smooth. If I can swap my my ring finger, my thumb, to now my pinky and my index. See, for me that's smooth. And then collapse that. So it's all about being smooth on the organ and not having a break in what you're doing. So if you can do that, that really makes a difference. So you just gotta trust me that I'm gonna use this over and over and over and over again. A lot of times people find it hard to believe. In book 2, however, you may see me do something like this: 7, 3, 6, 2, which is the same thing. I'm doing it with one hand, but my left hand is free. The reason why this is so important is because if I have this here, 7, 3, 6, 2, flat 7 over 5, 1, 7. I'll give you just one of the examples out of book 2. There's a thing called major minor move, where I use F major, G minor, F major, G minor, and I'm inverting this chord. F A C, G B flat D, A C F, B flat D G. Same thing over and over. So I can go, which I use over and over. So a good question for me would be like, well, what if my hands are too close? Then separate it. Don't start so low. Like I did that because I've been playing forever. But I would start root position F with my 7. It's there's tension that is not resolved. To me, the tension is on until you get there. But 7 is meant to be. In our music, 7 is very intense. And that's why I tell people 7, 3, 6 is so important. Some people slide by it and don't do it. So even if you're advanced, try adding what I'm suggesting to you to what you already do. So I have to tell people that because people say, well, he only wants me to do it one way. No, I just want you to have options for doing it. Because sometimes the song wants this tension. So when you say, Jesus, you are see how much tension is created? And if you're a singer, the singers feel freer to do some other stuff. I'm an instrumentalist, I feel free to do other stuff because the 7 and the 3 and the 6, sharp 4. I know I didn't explain all of that part, but my main focus to give you as a gold nugget is the 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, and the 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. So if I'm playing a Christmas song and I want to do something, I can't tell you, and I'll stay in F just because of that. But if you give me another one, I'll show you. Come on, ye 5. Here's the 1. Now this is book 1. My book 1, line 1. If you know that page, it's page 13. Look how I have a CFA. Those of you who already have the book know this is the first chord you learn. The first thing I want to do is include 2 notes, F, A, E, G. All I'm doing is I'm adding these to make it, the family is larger. The chord's nice and it's good. I'm adding just 2 notes under that. So I took the 2 notes off the top and put them on the bottom. So now I sound more mature and you can't tell where the chord starts. So, anytime you can do that. So if you have book 1, there's a lesson right there. So in the song it goes, joyful. I want you to see where I stole that from. Now here's my 7, 3, 6. Little 5. Now I'm in C. Now here's a run that's in book 2, which is the Mixolydian. I just have to practice 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's 3. It's the same 3 we just talked about. 3, 6. I stepped out of bounds, but I want you to see how often I use these passing 3, 6. This is like a flat 6 over 2. 1 over 5. Here this is again. How many times I use the same thing? Here's a 2, 5, which is going to be part of the book in the organ book. How many times do we do 2 and 5? You cover 2 and 5 just by F, B, and E, B flat. 6, 2. Now here's a fat 7. If I want to do something. If I can get your left hand, 6, 2. 1 over 5, 2, 5, 1. Now the other thing I'm going to do in the book is, and I know this is a lot, I'm sorry, I should be playing more, but I'm trying to give this away to you so your playing will improve, but there's no shortcut besides playing. Gabe, what's up, Ryder? So good to see you on the other zone. I'm just teaching a little lesson. Crazy about Christmas music, so if you want to hear a Christmas song, let me know what it is, and if I know it, I'll make Junior play it, okay? If I don't, yeah. So, because I'm here at Junior's house in his studio. He has an amazing studio. The only guy I know who has 3 Hammond organs in his house. 3, not 1, but 3. Okay, I digress. Okay, those. Some people love. So here's the thing. I've been doing Old Holy Night. So here's the thing. I'm putting myself on the spot in front of everybody. I was telling him the part that throws a lot of musicians is this part. And he appeared in the storm. That part where they have to do. So I'm trying to go to a major 3rd above, but I'm gonna make it a minor chord.
Greetings from Sweden, all the way from Sweden.
Wow. Europe. Get out of here. Okay. This is Holy Night. 1, 7, 4. I'm not going to change much about it. I'm going to try to stay and be nice. Thank you. Caleb said Merry Christmas. Now here I am. I'm called. But I need a minor on the major 3rd. C major. I will tell you, when you learn this stuff, it's going to be more than one key. Six, two, five, one, 7, 3, 6, 3, 6, flat 6, 2, 3, 6. I know I'm doing a lot, right? But it gets me out of trouble a lot. I didn't know how I wanted to end that. So one of the things I'm going to do during the holidays is try to bleed these patterns. 3, 6. So watch my left hand. 5. I can change my left hand. I can change my right hand, but pretty much I stay right here with 3, the thing I showed you earlier, 6, 2, 5. But I can alter my right hand. I was going to do something. I get bored with my left hand, so I try to make it more fun. Same thing over. 1, 3, 4, 3, 6, 2, 6, 2, 5, plus 7, 0, 5, 1, 7, 4, 3. See how we get bored because we do the same thing? So the other thing it's going to have is that's level 1. Level 2 is going to have 3 notes. 4 notes for the chord, 4 notes for the 2, 5, and I have variations of that. And I can also do the tritone substitution on the 6. So 3, 6, instead of doing D, I can do A flat. It changes the color. I can also borrow something to get me back. So I have a 3, 6 tritone substitution instead of doing 5. James White, what's up, man? I wish you were here to sing. Chestnuts roasting on the...
Hold on. Go back to 3, 6.
3.
What
you play this?
Yeah. What you play over there?
So it's a 2. I'm doing a tritone of the 2. Thank you for stopping.
Yeah. I just wanted to.
Okay. So it's a 3. Thank you. So use a tritone on the 6, right? Now, what's the 5? I'm talking 3, 6, 2 would be G, right? Right. Thank you. 2. So 3, 6. Instead of doing the 2 right here, I'm doing a tritone of the 2, which would be D flat, and I'm altering it slightly. But that's where they came from. 3, 6. The tritone of G is D flat.
Which is 4 and A flat.
Yeah, for 1 chord.
How do you treat it? C sharp major 9.
Yeah.
D flat major 9.
6, 9.
6, 9.
Yeah.
How do you treat it with that?
I still treat it like it's a 2. Yeah, it's cold, bruh. 3.
Go to a G flat major 2nd.
I'll treat this, actually, everybody, the run I'm doing with this is an F minor blues scale.
Okay.
I feel comfortable doing that. because everything in the kitchen sink is in it that would cover that. So I'm using the F minor blues scale to fiddle with. So
what do you call it when you start on another note, but it's still F minor blues scale? Start on E flat.
So each one of those has a different name.
Oh, okay.
Without being too complicated and not leaving everybody. So, but technically, I can start on the F. If I start on the A flat, it's called something. If I start on the B flat, if I call it. So I encourage you though, to make a long story shorter. If you know a run like the F minor blues, I would take it starting on the root, 3, 2, 1. That's what's in book 2. I suggest starting it like this. I suggest doing 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I like to go to A flat. And I always like to turn. So if I turn it, if I go, if I can turn back and do 5, whenever I have 5 in a row, I like to turn back. And that's why my runs sound like I'm doing more than I'm doing. But technically, all I'm doing is elongating. And what I love about this is the same thing that I can use in gospel, a hymn. I'm showing you in hymns. And I'll close out because this is a long time, but I didn't mean to do this. But, so if I do 6, not like just 7. That's a 7 that's not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be 7, 3, 6. But to me, it creates enough interest to keep me going up because I'm only there for a second. I'll do that one more time. I start on 4. You hear people do that. 7. Sorry, I got happy. Now, what's the run I'm doing? Thank you for asking me. I'm on D minor. So everything I can find, 2, 3, 4, 5, all that's in the book too. I tried to give it away because I kept being around these musicians like Junior who could play, but they wouldn't explain to me what they like. I was like, what did you do and why did you do that? And so my books answer those questions so you're not struggling your whole life. And so it's fresh when you hear it. That's the pentatonic triplets. And I tell you, if you learn one key, you're going to learn it for 2 or 3 keys because these apply in each of the keys. So you're not just learning it for F major, you're learning it for D minor, you're learning for other keys that relate to that. Anything related, somebody said that in the comments about relating something to another key. This is what I'm saying. I use this all the time. I can use it B flat. What's this? I would say, where did his transition with augmented chords come from? Oh, okay. Where did the
fascination?
Oh, fascinated with augmented chords come from? Okay, so my background has a lot of, if you can't tell, I studied formally. I learned to read, which I try to get everybody to do. I'm still on Junior about the same thing. Because reading, you're going to see some of this stuff, and you see it in there, and you're just like, how can I put that into what I do? But I'm fascinated with jazz. So I'm crazy about jazz, and jazz uses a lot of diminished chords, augmented chords, half diminished, and then in church we use a lot of these. So we use a lot of dominant 7, a lot of tension chords. What do we add and why do we add it? So when we talk about doing 1, 3, 4 plus 4, which is total diminished, 1 over 5, right? 6. Here's the same 6, 2 we were talking about. Now, we're doing a lot of these that will be like a G7, sharp 5, sharp 9. What I try to do without getting too deep and losing anybody, I make you experience it. So one of the things here's something I thank you for asking that question. I'm gonna give you something in advance of the book, so hopefully you still get the book. But let me just talk to you, because in book 1 I talk about the most important chords. I call them Jacks 14. I showed my sister this, so I do this thing called 3, 4, plus 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you have the book, I have this, right? These are preaching chords. This is what I do for shout music. Same thing, 6 plus 7, right? Straight like that. Now, huh?
What page is this on?
Let me show you where it is in book 1. Okay, it's called the eight church. Thank you for giving me that, challenging me with that, because I always talk about these because the book is just so. Not the church group. It's the next page. Right here, 8 church moves. Right here.
This is the Dr. Jackson.
Yeah, 8 church moves. You got G in the bass with E flat chord. Then you got the 4. Then you got plus 4. Then you got 1 over 5. And then you got 6 plus 7. 7. And then 1, right? Now, watch this. What I'm giving you in the organ book is I'm going to give you a tritone to go with each one. So I'm going to do tritone. Now, look how you move from first bass to second bass just by adding a tritone. Now, here's the tritone with the 4. For the diminished, I'm going to double both hands. For the 1 on the 5, I'm going to double. Now, when I get to the 6, I'm going to come back into the tritones, E and B flat. You play that chord, you'll get hired next Sunday. Just walk in church. They'll be like, can you play for my church? Right? I can't tell you how many people did that.
But you got to tell them that ain't all they need is that chord.
Please don't do it. Please, okay.
That'll be the point. Come on. Tell them that.
Okay, all right.
That chord will get you hired.
You'll be surprised. Hey, it won't keep you. Yeah. It'll get you hired, but it won't keep you. But no, you'll be surprised how many musicians I run into. They bad in one key, or they bad with one little progression, and they hired. But then you're going to be frustrated because that's all you have. So you got, so I'm making light of it, but seriously, y'all, this right here, so when I get people who are ready to move to the organ, but they know the 8 church moves already, I just add. So when I say, glory, glory, watch my left hand. I never moved it out of this position. 6, 2, glory, glory.
Just a left hand.
7, 3, 4. Diminish. 6, 2, 5. Here's it right here. Don't go, friends, don't treat me.
Oh, yeah.
Like they used to. Since I lay. So if you were taking organ lessons from me, we'd be working on this. I don't worry as much about your right hand. I mean, most people who play already have strong, well, the right hand is better than the left hand. I'll put it like that. Since I lay over and over, and these are all tritones in your left hand. That when you hear Junior every Sunday morning, when he's going live, I'm not minimizing what he's doing, but I want you to understand the function of his left hand. It's a support. It's the foundation that holds everything together. And the better you are, three neighborhoods, all that's a good one. Thank you so much. So, if you know intervals, you know that. Let me make it easy. From C to F, it's called a perfect. It's called a perfect fourth, right? So every scale degree is called
Smith. Yes.
It's called an interval. So the interval is C to D is a second, C to E is a third, F is a perfect fourth, G is a perfect fifth, right?
One more time.
We're talking, when we talk about tritones, we're talking about distance intervals from one note to the other. We're talking about the tritone is a certain level. You know, I explain intervals to my beginning students like this. If my house is here and your house is next door, that's a second. But if you skip a house, that's a third. If you skip another house, that's a fourth, right?
Correct.
Skip another house, you're a fifth, just like that.
Yeah.
All right. There's a house in between the fourth and the fifth house.
And what is that house called?
It's called a tritone house.
Oh, okay.
So any note, starting with any note, if I start on a scale and I do from G, the next house will be a second, the third house will be a third, the fourth house will be a fourth. That house in between the fifth, the fourth and the fifth is called the tritone.
So 3 whole steps.
Yeah. You want to call it 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 whole steps.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a tritone.
Okay.
So I like to use tritones to crawl, and you can use it. If I'm on A and I'm using, this is the tritone that goes with it, then I want to go to D. Well, I collapse that. Now my 7 and third becomes the third and 7, because D, the third is F sharp, the 7 is C. Then if I collapse it again to G, then my 7 becomes a 3 and 3 but 7. So G7, I have the F and the B. Then for the 5, the third and the 7 is E and B flat. And it goes all the way around. So I like to do
So
these.
are they switching from third to 7 in the first?
Thirds and 7s moves to 7 and thirds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're doing tritone.
Okay.
So when I said, since I lay, my third is 7 of F, third is 7 of the 6, then of the 2, then of the 5, to 1.
Yeah, so
this is what the exercise.
So the E flat tritone is actually also a tritone.
It's also an A tritone.
So each
guess what?
tritone has
And guess
a
what?
name.
And guess what? The tritone of A is. What's the tritone of A?
That is the tritone,
And what is it? E flat.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Okay.
Yeah. That you asked me that. I just want to make sure you were thinking with me. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to make sure you were awake. I'm trying to make sure you was awake.
Okay,
That's all.
All right,
I'm just saying. So the tritone, because we do use it. That's what I'm saying. You're going to see so much stuff crossing up together.
Okay.
Just like that. But it's important. So for me, so when I do, I know the Lord, tritone, we'll make a way to the 2, tritone, oh yes he will. I'm back to there, right? Now for my 4, I come down a half step to pick up my 4.
How does it ironically just work with those songs, just half step moving?
You see
what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a jazz, and they teach it in jazz all the time. It's just, I'm trying to give gospel the kind of respect that jazz has. It's like jazz musicians, if they're real good, they understand this very, very well. But in gospel, a lot of people do it, but they don't explain it very well. They explain it, but they may not have the theory behind it or the confidence to maybe share that. But they play it all the time. So any of the guys, and they play it, and you're impressed by it. But I'm trying to see how I can get more people on the Ferris wheel to ride with us. So if you're interested, you may just get one thing out of the day. You may get 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, and you better than you were before. But if you can get to tritones, just start with 1. Just start with A in the bass, and G and C sharp. It's G and C sharp, right? And just go down by half steps, and take every down by half steps, just to get used to practicing on them. Now, I find people who can understand them, but can't apply them. And so I try to find a balance between those two. So you're not just being able to talk about them, but you can play them. So I try to get you to apply them all the way around the keyboard. So one of your exercises maybe to take a C.
You gospel guys improvs with harmony as fast as
So look at this chord I have for you. E, B flat, I promise it's the last thing. E, B flat, D, G, C. I'm going to take this around by half steps. Take everything up a half step. Everything by half step. Don't leave anything up.
Give them that note.
So I got E and B flat in my left hand. C in foot. D, G, C.
And what
Which
chord is that?
just a C9. That's going to be a C9.
A C9?
Yeah, just a simple C9.
What is that B flat?
The 7. It's when you say 9, it's automatically understood to be.
Why not the B? Why not the B?
Because when you do dominance, you don't have to say, if you say C7, it automatically assumes that the dominant is flatted, because if it's a natural, you have to say C major. So if I said C major 9, if I wanted that, I have to say C major 9.
That's the reason why you wanted me to go to school, right?
Right.
Stop asking you.
No, because I'm glad you asked, because if you ask it, it's 100 people behind you.
Okay.
They don't know, but they won't tell you they don't know. No, that's the problem. That's the problem. They won't, because they too like, I already know that. I'm like, no, bro, come on. Because in the world, if you say C9, do they know that the 7 is already there? If it's an E flat here, then it should be an E flat.
Because you lost me again. That the 7, you saying the B flat,
Yeah.
not the B.
Yeah.
Because what scale are we looking for? Are we looking for the major scale, or what are we?
No,
looking
what
at?
we're on is a dominant chord. We're just on a dominant 7 chord.
Okay.
And that's the one that you use to mix a Lydian on.
That's F major scale.
Yes, starting on C.
Starting on C.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a lie. You said you lost about 50 people in your line just then. All right, so that's what we're saying. Yeah, they own the church. They own the church. But at least you understand.
Okay, all right.
So it's a C7.
All right.
And all I want you to do is take it up by half steps. Half step. Half step. Half step. Half step. Half step. Now don't do it so fast. I'm doing it faster than I want you to do it. Because if you can go up an octave.
So what scale is the dominant chord built on?
It's built on the root. So it's a C. This is a C.
So what scale
C9.
is that built on?
It's built off the Mixolydian.
Oh, Mixolydian. Okay.
Mixolydian.
So,
Yeah, Mixolydian.
Mixolydian. What book is that in?
Book 2.
Book 2.
Book 2. And every one of them has, I did in every key. I gave you the Mixolydian, I gave you the Superlocrian, and I gave you the blues. I gave you the harmonic minor too. Those are the 4 I pick on most. And so without getting too deep, because see, some people get deep. It's like in the Bible. Sometimes you talk to people about the Bible and they try to go deep in the description. I don't try to go no deeper than you need to understand. Because anybody who said he know it all, I get nervous. Right. Anybody who said he know it all, I get nervous. Because the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. But what I can transfer to you, what I do have. So if you like what I'm doing, I try to make that where you feel good about it.
So what 2 ways do you recommend? What do people do to get better? I know practice, but what do they practice?
Okay, so
can you practice on songs you already know?
Yes, you can. But here, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Now we need a 2-hour session. You know that. But here's the thing: if you're level 1 and you play in every praise, it's C, because that's in book 3. Every word of worship with one accord. Every praise. 5. Back to 1, right? 2. If you can understand that I can walk down 1, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, you've moved a little bit ahead of the game instead of just staying on 1 and 6 and 4. Now, when you get into didn't I introduce this in book 3? Well, if I know that 1, 7, 3, 6 will get me to 6. All of a sudden, now I've opened up. So now I may just work on a simple song like every praise, but add what I'm giving you in book 3, the 7, 3, 6. And you might do, this is in the step down. You might put put that in the middle of every praise. Now, does it go in there naturally? Not all the time, but it'll make your music come alive to the audience, and they will enjoy you better than you just sitting on the 4 and the 5. Now, try not to use the transposer. Do the same thing in C sharp. 7, 3, 6. That's how you get better. 6. Take that around all 12 keys and then call me.
Okay, one more question. Like I said, what do you study to expand your playing past Sunday morning?
So I would study what's in book 2. What I try to do in book 2 is give you 3 levels of, for example, chords in all 12 keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Then I give you level 2. 1, 2, that expands. So I would get book 2 and try to learn. And then I gave level 3. So I was expanding, almost like his keyboard. Look at my left hand where I'm doing 1, 5.
That's a big expand.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? And then I did, particularly when we get to 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Then I'm trying to stick these songs in chords, you see? So I'm not just saying just go, you know, because sometimes people get bored just doing that. Like, why do I need to keep doing 1, 2, 3, 4? But when, like I did for 7, 3, 6, for example, I gave you an expanded 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. Right? That's a lot. 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. But if you want to get there, then that'll do it. But don't spend so much time on that you don't put it in a song. If you're playing total praise, if you're playing, oh Lord, we give you praise. If you're playing grateful, you know, go to those keys, learn those chords, and then call me and say I give lessons. So I can do it over the phone. I can be on the highway, and you call me. I can tell you the notes that you need to be playing, and then do it over and over. There's no shorter thing. It's like Steph Curry shooting free throws. How many does he shoot a day? They said Kobe shot 300 or 400 a day. You know, some guys feel good if they shoot 50. How good do you want to do? Junior is so good because while y'all sleeping and while y'all out having a good time, he here working in the key of E and B, making me mad. And then when I have to play, then I mess up. He said, Jackson, and let's try this 3, 6, 2, 5, 1 again. Boy, but think like you're in the key of A. No, I'm saying again, he'll help me. I'm saying you determine how good you want to be and how quickly you want to get there. But there's no shortcut to you practicing over and over and over and over. Then that's why I'm working these chords through Christmas music. And I have about 48 more hours. After Monday, you're probably not going to want to hear Chestnuts Rolling Stone Up at 5 because the music dies very quickly. So then I'll be working on something else. But I like to either do it through hymns. I like to do it through, you know, it can be shouting music. All of these concepts work. It's just sometimes they go faster than others. The runs work. The scales work. The blues scales work. You know, all of those. And just set yourself a realistic goal of a little bit every day, a little bit every week, and I promise you'll get there. Thank y'all so much. I did longer than I planned to.
I know we did, but we got 5 minutes. And I know you the doctor, but just
give me in trouble.
I know you got to go. But just play Great Is Thy Faithfulness. And what I want from this, I want all the mixolydian, all the harmonic, or whatever.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I mean, because it's all in there.
Wow.
It shows just no explaining, just play.
it.